Hello everyone, we're at St James's Park where the sun sets on another season for the Alnwick Town men's team in the Northern Alliance Premier, kindly joined by Alnwick's manager Richie Latimer and coach Liam Wood. I wasn't at the game today, we've got a lot to go through. I wasn't at the game today, I've just come back from work. A 3-0 win, tell us how the day went, please.
Yeah, it was a good performance. It's always difficult the last game of the season, you know, when you're down on numbers a little bit. We meant to finish last Wednesday, so we had a few players who couldn't make today as well. So, you know, obviously me and Michael had to go on the bench, but performance-wise, I thought we're more than good enough today. I think it's a lot more relaxed, you know, but it's obviously keeping them standards up. But no, I think a 3-0 was a fair reflection on the game.
It's a nice way to end the season, scoring 3, keeping a clean sheet. Was that the same Whitley Bay team you played in the Cup quarter-final?
Not really, if I'm honest. I know that Whitley Bay, again, have done very, very well since Andy Woff's gone in to stay in the league. He took over at a tough time.
Rock bottom.
Yeah, rock bottom. You know, so he's done very well, but they've obviously got their injuries as well come the end of the season. So they started actually with JJ in goal, who's normally a centre forward today.
Wow.
You know. But no, there was still a lot of players in there with experience, like Cal Morgan, you know, Forbes and people like that. So they still had a decent outfit out, you know. So it's good on them, to be fair, because it's obviously up the road and that, but they still put a competitive team out to come up here. You know.
So let's talk about the season. Everyone knows it's your first season. I said before a ball was kicked, I've mentioned in interviews, as far as I was concerned, it was a season of transition. How do you both feel as if it's gone? Highs and lows. Liam, let's talk to you first.
Yeah, a long season, you know.
The last few weeks have been.
It's been a bit of a drag here, but we've had some ups and downs, haven't we? We've done well in spells. We've had a couple of good runs of form, and then, to be honest, a couple of bad runs of form, and points dropped. Now that you look at it, when we finish the season, you think, could we have been higher with a few more points and turning draws into wins or defeats into draws, and could we have been a little bit higher? But the league table doesn't lie, does it? So, I don't know. I think we possibly could have been higher up in the division, but you've got to put the ball in the net. You've got to stop the ball going in our net, and that's what it comes down to, isn't it?
What about you, Richie? What's your highs and lows? Because there's been many.
Yeah, there has.
It's been an entertaining season.
Yeah.
It's been an enjoyable season.
Yeah.
So your highs and lows, please.
It's always going to be a tough season when you're bringing in the numbers we've brought in. Obviously, we sort of came in that mini league the back end of last season, and we couldn't sign any players. So we have had a high turnover of players, where we've probably brought in, say, about 25 new players. So it's always going to take a little bit of time to settle. But you know, it was always going to be a bit of a building season. You know, obviously, Alnwick for the past few years have struggled a little bit.
Been at the wrong end of the table.
Been at the wrong end of the table. So, but overall, I've just been speaking to the lads in there. We haven't had the consistency we should have had. You know, as in players. I mean, just to give you an example, we've never picked the same team in 2 games running. You know, and that's what I was saying to the lads. It's when you're coming up the.
Is that down to you, or is that down to availability?
There's loads of reasons, really.
Right,
you know, injuries have been bad, haven't they?
Yeah,
we started the season with a few injuries, and then, you know, get people back, and by the time they're back, you've got other people out for a little bit of a spell. Harry Newton, for example, off the top of my head, started the season in the starting 11. Had a bad hamstring injury. He's not really played since. A couple of training sessions here and there, so he'll be back for next season. But you know, he was starting 11 in August, and by the end of August, that was his season done.
It's something we need to look at in the pre-season about. You need lads here, and there's no secret why the Lightnings of Crudder have done well this season. Killinworth have obviously won the league. You know, I think Killinworth really have turned up pretty much the same team every week. Yeah. But it is injuries have hampered it, but there has been a lot of highs. You know, obviously we'll be Crudder in the semi-final of the Cup.
That was a high.
Yeah, a big high. But obviously it was disappointing to lose the Cup final, I think, really.
But that was a high and a low in 90 minutes.
It was, you know, it was a bit of a roller coaster Cup final. I think we dominated the first half, like we spoke about. Didn't take our chances again. That's been a little bit of a hindrance during the season, you know. We have been getting in good areas, just haven't been good enough in both boxes. Obviously, Lewis coming on and scoring with 15 minutes ago, you've sort of got half an eye on the cup. But really, you know, in essence, really, we should be higher in the league. You know, with the squad we've got, I think we should have a cup in the cabinet as well.
I think we should have a cup and all.
Yeah.
But we'll save that for next season. But
Yeah.
the last few months for me, you've managed to keep a consistent squad. There seems to be a great deal of loyalty. And
Yeah.
before we get into the players, you found out a lot about Alnwick Town this season.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure you found out a lot about yourselves as well. In my opinion, you're a perfect fit for this club. How do you personally feel you are with this club?
I'm not speaking for Liam here, but I've loved it. To be honest, I didn't realise how big of a club it was. You know, when we first came in, it's you know, obviously you look at the surroundings, you look at the setup, you know, you look at the committee-wise, obviously ourselves. You know, these are, for a Northern Alliance standard club, it's a massive club. You know, it's a massive club, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I feel like I'm part of Alnwick now as well.
Yeah.
I think so. Again, not speaking for Liam, but I think all the management have. You know,
Yeah.
we've been made to feel welcome. You know, we've not wanted for anything. You know, since we're born. Obviously, when the crowd's behind you as well, when the lads are travelling all over the place,
Makes a difference.
it does,
doesn't
and you
when-
don't get that very often at this level of football. You know.
I think if you look at the development team as well, have had a half decent season into a new division. The 8 team have had a cup final this morning. The ladies team has been publicised at St James's.
well documented
Other
this
St
week.
James's Park last week. And Alnwick Town has got a good name, and we're trying to improve everything on all areas of the club. So we're trying to do our bit and get a little bit higher and push on a little bit.
I don't want to go too far, but it's been a long season.
Yeah.
Your work doesn't finish now. You're going to have a few weeks off. Do
Yeah.
you know which direction? I don't want to know which positions or anything. Do you know which direction you want to go in
Well,
next season for taking the club forward? Have you got
Yeah.
your own ideas already?
I've got a little black book with more than a few names in, more than a few, but we obviously won't speak to anyone
Yeah. And again,
to bring in. We need to see what's happening with the lads that we've got here. We've asked them a couple of questions after today's game. Are you committed? Are you going to be fit and available week in, week out? Is your attitude for certain players going to be, you know, top of the league attitude?
Is that
to
where we're
go
looking
forward?
at?
Just to see, you know, what we've got to start with, and then every team will make changes in the summer. You always do. We'll try and bring in the right bodies to complement what we've got here already, really.
I think as well, you know, we have got a good change room. We have
Yeah,
got
yeah.
good
You can
players.
tell that comes
Yeah.
across.
You know, and it's just that consistency, you know, of getting there. You know, it's been difficult a lot, especially the April was, you know, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday,
It was crazy.
with the lads
3 weeks in a
working
row,
and whatnot, and the injuries you pick up, and we have been unlucky with injuries this season with big players being out for long spells. But again, what we're saying to the lads in there, if you want to be a good non-league team, you've got to do the extra miles when it comes to, you know, when you're not playing 3 games a week, you know, maybe you're playing on a Saturday, training on Thursday, whatever it'll be. You've got to hit the roads, you know. And I think Kilma's proved that this season.
I think you're 100% right. When will you start looking at pre-season friendlies? I know I'm jumping the gun. The last second you've picked the ball.
It's already started.
Yeah, it's already
Oh,
started.
brilliant.
It's already started. I mean, the players obviously get a few weeks off. Us as a management team, we'll sit down, identify what positions we feel like we need to strengthen in, what characters we need to bring in, you know, because we haven't come here. You know, no disrespect to the Northern Alliance.
No, not
it
at
is
all.
good. There's some good players and teams in the league. Like I just mentioned before, the size of the club, you know, it belongs in the Northern League, and it's our job to try and get up there. You know, so yes, it's been a decent building season from where Alnwick's been, but we're more ambitious than that. We want to, you know, we want to get the club along with obviously Tommy the chairman and all that sort of thing. We'll be having discussions over the next few weeks to see where we're going. Obviously there's a lot of changes within the club at the moment, you know.
But it's really good that the ambition of you matches the ambition of the club.
Yeah.
So like I said at the start, I think it's a great partnership which will hopefully just continue to grow and grow as we carry on. It's been a hard season, it's been a great season, it's been a very enjoyable season.
Yeah.
Liam, Richie, thank you so much for your efforts in front of the cameras and on the pitch. And we look forward to speaking to you very soon. We'll probably have an interview before a pre-season friendly to see where we're
Not
at.
be long.
Just one thing before we sort of cut off, just a sort of special mention to Ian. Again, I know I've said it many times, but you look at the pitch, obviously he's just jumping on the track straight after the game to get a cut again. But at this time of the season, and there is three teams,
on this pitch,
and if you sort of have a look at it,
Well, I'll get Johnny to pan round in a minute. I was speaking to the Whitley Bay lads when they came in, and they were saying they would love to play on this surface
every week,
and that's what they were saying.
And he's worked his back end off.
And there's one more game tomorrow, Alnwick ladies against Bradford City, and that's the last game at St James's Park for the season. So I think that's a great point, Johnny, if you can just maybe get your camera and pan round St James's Park as the sun sets, looking at this wonderful surface. And from Alnwick Town TV, from all of us for now, from the men's season, thank you so much. We'll be with you soon. Cheers.
Brilliant. Thanks, lads. Thank you.
Well done.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Absolute pleasure. I was going to do the solution playing this video.